The Abyss Explorer rocked gently on the surface of a deceptively calm ocean. The light of the morning sun gleamed off the submersible Nautilus 7, suspended over the water like a mechanical jewel. Inside the research vessel's control room, Dr. Eliza Moreno adjusted her headset, glancing at the glowing monitors that displayed the submersible's systems. Every instrument, every dial, was calibrated to perfection. But her stomach churned with an unease she couldn't quite rationalize. "Systems are green," announced Liam Hart, the submersible pilot, his voice calm but clipped. "We're ready for descent." "Let's make history," Clara Weiss said from her station, her eyes shining with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The archaeologist leaned forward in her chair, eager to explore the mysteries that lay below. Dr. Julian Adebayo, seated beside Eliza, muttered, "Let's hope history doesn't make us." He adjusted his glasses and tapped the screen in front of him, where the sonar display painted a bleak and silent picture of the ocean's depths. Ren Quan smirked from across the room. "Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen? It's just water and rocks." "Water and rocks at depths that could crush this ship like a tin can," Eliza countered. She gave him a half-smile, but her eyes betrayed her concern. The mission was unprecedented, the challenges unknown. Even the best preparation couldn't account for the unknowns of the abyss. Liam's voice crackled over the comms. "All right, team, lock in. Nautilus 7 is going down." The submersible slid smoothly into the water, leaving the surface world behind. The light from above faded quickly, replaced by the cold, inky blackness of the ocean. Eliza sat in the cramped cabin alongside Julian, Ren, and Clara, watching as the walls of the submersible's observation dome were illuminated by soft blue lights. "Depth, 1,000 meters, Liam called out. His hands moved confidently over the controls as the submersible continued its descent. The hum of the engines was a constant, reassuring presence. Outside, bioluminescent creatures began to appear. Delicate orbs of light drifted past, trailing faint streaks of luminescence. Long, ribbon-like forms swayed in the water, their movements hypnotic. A school of small, glowing fish swarmed around the dome, their synchronized flickers creating intricate patterns. "Unreal," Clara whispered. "It's like being inside a living galaxy." Ren, always pragmatic, grunted. "Pretty, sure, but we're not here for light shows." "No," Eliza said softly, her eyes locked on a creature that pulsed with shifting hues of blue and green. "But it's a reminder. This is their world. We're just visitors." The submersible descended further, and the bioluminescence faded. The creatures became sparse, replaced by an oppressive void. Liam adjusted the lights on the submersible, their beams piercing the darkness ahead. "Depth, 4,500 meters, he said. His voice was steady, but his brow furrowed as he monitored the sonar. "What's wrong?" Julian asked, noticing the shift in his expression. "Not sure," Liam replied, "picking up some odd readings. Might just be interference." "Interference from what?" Ren asked, leaning over the monitor. The sonar displayed a faint, irregular blip, then another. The signals were inconsistent, as though whatever was being detected was moving in and out of range, or deliberately avoiding detection. "It's probably just a shoal of fish," Julian offered, though his tone lacked conviction. Ren chuckled. Fish? At this depth? You're optimistic. A sudden thud reverberated through the submersible, making everyone jump. Liam's hands flew to the controls. What the hell was that? Something hit us? Eliza asked, her voice tight. She scanned the observation dome, but the water outside revealed nothing. Could be a pressure wave, Julian suggested, though his knuckles were white as he gripped the edge of his console. Liam shook his head. Doesn't feel like it. Hang on. There it is again. The sonar blipped, a single massive contact appearing momentarily before vanishing. Okay, that's not fish, Ren muttered, leaning forward. His usually easygoing demeanor was replaced with something more serious. Liam, how big? Eliza asked, her voice steady but low. Big, Liam replied. Could be a whale, maybe. But it's not acting like one. Whatever it is, it's... He stopped as the blip appeared again, this time closer. Then it disappeared. A shadow flickered across the edge of the observation dome, so fast that no one had time to register what it was. Clara gasped. Did you see that? See what? Liam asked, his eyes darting between the controls and the glass dome. It was huge, Clara said, her voice barely a whisper. It was right there. No one responded. The silence in the cabin was broken only by the hum of the submersible's systems. The crew's unease hung thick in the air. Let's keep moving, Eliza said firmly, trying to steady her own nerves. We've come too far to turn back. Liam nodded, pushing the submersible deeper. The shadows outside seemed to grow heavier, pressing against the lights. Then, finally, the ruins came into view. The first structure loomed out of the darkness like a monolith, its surface encrusted with coral and barnacles. More shapes emerged, spires, archways, and massive blocks of stone, their scale and intricacy breathtaking. Oh my God, Clara breathed. It's real. It's all real. Depth, 6,300 meters, Liam reported, but his voice had lost its usual confidence. We've reached the coordinates. The team fell silent, each member staring out at the sunken city with a mix of awe and dread. The ruins were ancient, alien in their design, and impossibly preserved. Yet, beneath the wonder, an undeniable feeling settled in Eliza's chest. They were not welcome here. Something was waiting. The ruins stretched across the seabed, an expanse of towering spires and labyrinthine pathways half buried in sediment and coral. The submersible's lights swept over intricate carvings etched into the stone, faintly illuminated in the murky water. Strange symbols adorned every surface, spirals, elongated figures, and depictions of marine life that bordered on grotesque. The team stared in stunned silence as the city unfolded before them, larger than anything they had imagined. This isn't just a sight, Clara whispered, her voice trembling with awe. It's an entire civilization. Ren, normally unshaken, pressed his face closer to the observation dome. No way this was natural erosion. These structures were engineered. But how did they survive the pressure down here? Julian scanned the external environment through his instruments. The architecture, it's deliberate. These spires, look how they're designed. They distribute the water pressure. Whoever built this, they understood the deep sea in ways we don't. Eliza leaned forward, her breath fogging the glass slightly. "Not just the deep sea. Look at those carvings." She pointed toward the base of a massive column. The designs depicted humanoid figures, their forms elongated and sinuous, almost fish-like. They knelt in supplication around a central figure, a vast serpentine creature with glaring eyes and teeth that seemed to spiral endlessly inward. "That's no god," Clara said, a chill in her voice. "That's a monster." "Or both," Julian muttered. The team's chatter was interrupted by Liam. "All right, explorers. We've got tethered suits prepped and a limited oxygen window. If we're going out there, make it count. We'll stay within 50 meters of the sub." The submersible settled near what looked like an ancient plaza, its surface littered with debris and strange artifacts. The external lights revealed large obelisks, their tops broken but still standing, their surfaces encrusted with coral. The team donned their suits, checking their tethers and oxygen levels before venturing out into the alien landscape. Stepping into the abyss was like walking into a tomb. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the crackling of their comms and the rhythmic hissing of their breathing apparatus. The ocean floor felt unnaturally smooth in some places, as if polished, while other areas were jagged with strange, sharp formations. Clara knelt near a carved stone tablet, running her gloved fingers over its surface. "These markings, they're almost like a language. Look at the repetition. This symbol here, could it be a word or a name?" Eliza studied the tablet over Clara's shoulder. "Or a warning." Wren wandered toward a nearby structure, its facade partially collapsed to reveal an interior chamber. "These walls, they're glowing. Do you see that?" He gestured toward faint veins of light running through the stone, pulsing rhythmically like a heartbeat. "That's not natural phosphorescence," Julian said, moving to inspect it. "This material, it's conducting energy somehow. What kind of technology did they have down here?" Eliza felt a growing unease. "We're not alone." She turned abruptly, certain she had seen movement in her peripheral vision. But the area behind them was empty, just the ruins and the vast yawning blackness of the ocean. "It's just your nerves," Wren said, though his voice lacked conviction. "This place would freak anyone out." But Eliza wasn't convinced. The feeling of being watched clung to her, a primal instinct she couldn't shake. As they moved deeper into the city, they found more evidence of its former inhabitants. Skeletons lay scattered across the plaza, humanoid in shape but grotesquely distorted. Their rib cages were too wide, their arms too long, and their skulls bore ridges that no human anatomy should have. Clara crouched near one, her voice shaking. "These bones, they're not human, but they're not entirely alien either. They're a hybrid," Julian said grimly. "Or something that was altered." "Altered by what?" Eliza asked, though she wasn't sure she wanted the answer. The ground trembled suddenly, a low vibration that seemed to emanate from deep below them. The team froze, their breathing audible in the silence. The pulse grew stronger, reverberating through the ruins like a drumbeat. The tether lines swayed as sediment and debris began to rise in the water. "Everyone back to the sub," Liam barked over the comms. "Now!" But Clara didn't move. Her attention was fixed on a doorway at the base of a spire. "Wait," she said. "There's something here." She moved closer, ignoring the protests from the others. The doorway led into a narrow passage, its walls covered in carvings that seemed to move and shift in the flickering light. "Clara!" Eliza shouted, her voice sharp. "Don't go in there." But Clara pressed on, driven by a mix of curiosity and dread. Inside the chamber, she found an altar. At its center was a crystalline structure, pulsating faintly with a cold, blue light. The light reflected off the chamber walls, casting eerie patterns that seemed to dance in impossible shapes. The rest of the team caught up with her, their lights sweeping over the chamber. Julian's eyes widened as he studied the crystalline artifact. This isn't just a power source, it's alive, or connected to something alive. Eliza felt the hair on the back of her neck rise. The vibrations were growing stronger, the rhythm faster. "We need to leave, now." But it was too late. The ground beneath them cracked, releasing a rush of bubbles and a sound that was more felt than heard, a low, resonant growl that echoed through their suits and into their bones. Something massive stirred in the darkness beyond the city. Continuation of the story, coming soon.